It's an amazing opportunity as a doctor to be able to communicate new ideas, new research in a way that's really understandable. And I think that that's really what is the greatest challenge. There are very complicated concepts in medicine. The human organism is just amazingly complex and we're constantly evolving. But there are certain basic principles, and the basic principles are what I'm going to try to communicate with you. You know, the body is this amazingly orchestrated system where there is an open system of communication. What that means is that your brain knows what's going on in your toes, your liver's communicating with your heart's communicating with your gut. I mean, it's an amazing system of communication. So how does the body actually communicate with itself? Well, the simplest system is actually the nervous system. So if you touch something hot, you immediately release your finger from that hot plate because your brain has basically gotten a signal instantaneously. So the nervous system evolved so that you could have instantaneous response, okay? But we don't always have to respond instantaneously, so we created another system, and that's the hormonal system. And the hormones are released by many, many different glands in your body, your thyroid gland, your adrenal glands, the ovaries, the testes, and they release chemicals called hormones that affect sexuality, blood sugar, you know, a whole host of things. But the master communicator is the circulatory system. And it's the circulatory system that is both rapid, not as quick as the nervous system, but faster than the hormonal system. So let's just give you a little basic biology of what the circulatory system does. Well, obviously, the first thing it does is it transports oxygen. You know, if you don't get oxygen to your tissues, any tissue, that tissue is going to die, and that's called a stroke or a heart attack. You don't get enough blood supply to your heart, you get a heart attack. It doesn't go to your brain, it's called a stroke. It doesn't go to your genitals, it's called erectile dysfunction. So blood flow is extremely important for the oxygen. What else does it do? It transports nutrients, right? The gut absorbs the nutrients, right? You eat foods, hopefully, that have a nutrient value, all right? Then it gets broken down by this complex system that if you read my new book, you'll understand. And then it has to be transported to the rest of your body. So the circulatory system is involved with oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange. It's involved with nutrition, right? It's involved with the delivery of the immune system. You have to have cells that go to foreign bodies. You get a splinter, white cells have to go there. Well, somebody's got to transport them there, and that's the circulatory system, okay? It's also involved with waste. You know, it's got to deliver stuff to your liver and your kidneys so you can clean yourself out. So as you can see, a healthy circulatory system is absolutely vital. Now, why am I discussing the circulatory system? Because you can do something about your circulatory system. It's hard for you to make a lot of changes in your neurologic system. When people start to develop neuropathies and stuff like that, it's just hard to really make a lot of changes. Hormonally, maybe you can take some hormones, but it's hard to fix them. The circulatory system really is under your control. Control your blood pressure, if you don't smoke, if you eat well, if you manage your cholesterol, you have a really good chance of keeping your circulatory system healthy. Now, here's a slide of what it was like when you can actually circulate your car. Okay, you didn't see a lot of traffic, you can move rapidly, all right? As opposed to, this is the modern era, right? This is called low flow state. Okay, when your cars are not moving, when your blood is not circulating, you've got a problem. Now, why is that a problem? There have been several major breakthroughs in cardiovascular disease and cardiovascular health, certain basic principles. Principle number one is that rapid flow is really good for you. When the blood flows rapidly through an arterial system, it keeps the artery itself healthy. When it starts to slow by going through a branch, you know what it's like when you have a takeoff or you have something? When the flow stops or slows down, it causes changes in the blood vessels, and that's where plaque builds up, by the way. Plaque builds up in the human body at branch points because the flow is diminished. So the first principle is rapid flow is really good for you. And anything that will promote rapid flow is something you want, okay? By the way, the other two very important principles in cardiovascular health is that the immune system is playing a lot more of a role than we actually thought. It's not just about fatty deposits that build and block and then you're done. No. You have little fatty deposits and you have white cells, you have an immune reaction, and it's that combination that really causes atherosclerosis. Just, and of course the circulatory system is the system that's delivering all these white cells, okay? So when you look at a map or a diagram of the circulatory system, you appreciate that every part of your body needs a supply of blood. I mean, if you don't get it to your eye, you get blind. Retinal artery occlusion, all kinds of retinopathies due to low blood flow. You don't get it to your brain, you don't get it to your skin. You don't get good blood flow to your skin, and you're going to age very rapidly because the blood flow brings healthy oxygen to the skin, and it removes toxic substances. So you're getting the drift of what I'm trying to say. Circulation is a critical part of wellness, and wellness is under your control. What's very interesting is that one of the substances that's in your OPC3, Pycnogenol is this really amazing flavonoid. And Victor, who is really responsible for the development and the science involved with Pycnogenol, did a beautiful study. And the study really was trying to determine whether or not Pycnogenol could improve the circulation, could improve flow. And so they took patients who already had diseased blood vessels, they've had a heart attack, but were stable, okay? And he determined that by giving these individuals over a 90 or 100-day period Pycnogenol, he was able to, in a very sophisticated way, show an improvement, a significant improvement in the patient's ability to dilate their blood vessels. So when you dilate your blood vessels, you're going to get more flow. That's very important in order to try to prevent a secondary heart attack or possibly a fatal heart attack. This is a very, very important study that was published in the European journals. And you have it in your OPC3 product, and there's a reason that it's a really good product to be taking, okay? When you look at this diagram of blood vessels, you understand that these blood vessels are carrying oxygen, carrying nutrients, but also carrying potentially toxic substances. And so you need a system of flow really flushing out your system, okay? If you can dilate the blood vessels, okay, that is a good thing because it means that dilated blood vessels are delivering more healthy oxygen and nutrients. And how blood vessels dilate, the people who actually discovered this won the Nobel Prize. And they realized that gases are released called nitric oxide from the lining of the blood vessels, which causes the blood vessels to dilate. And when you don't have enough nitric oxide production, which oftentimes you don't see in diabetics, and sometimes you see in people with hypertension, the blood vessels don't react appropriately to an increased need. Well, guess what? Pycnogenol will help restore some of the reactivity of your blood vessels. This is a very important concept, okay? And the same thing occurs not only in your coronary arteries, but in every artery in your body. Remember, I said to you, the body's circulating and is communicating, and what's good for your heart is going to be good for your liver, it's going to be good for your skin. Here's your skin. You improve the oxygen levels in your skin, and you're going to have that healthy glow to your skin. So it's very, very important to appreciate why you are using the products that are in the MarketAmerica armamentarium. It's because they are evidence-based. We keep saying this over and over again. And the science keeps advancing, and your company keeps doing studies to improve and to validate really what you guys have. And it's the reason that MarketAmerica is so successful. So if I could leave you with a few points, circulation is really important. Rapid blood flow is very important. Making certain your immune system is active but not overactive is really important. Pick the right nutrients to feed your circulatory system, antioxidants, flavonoids, OPC3. Thank you all very much for your time and your courtesy.